What's up, you guys? Welcome to the Listen Bitch podcast with your host, Brandon Lynette. I am having technical difficulties, but we're rolling with it, you guys, because that's what we fucking do. Okay. We just get it done. Um, Today's topic is super easy. In one of my Facebook groups, there was a comment that said emotional intelligence with a question mark underneath my post. So that's what we're going to start. What is emotional intelligence? And you guys, does it matter if we know what this is? Absolutely. Yes, it does. Okay. We all know someone, whether it's a friend or family that we know we can't do without. Every time we talk to this person, they make us feel better. Um, you see that they make friends without effort, that, everybody's just kind of coming to them as an anchor. They can calm uncomfortable situations, and it seems easy for them. So, my question is, have you ever looked at someone and wondered how they do this? Okay. Maybe you think it's because they're a people person. Maybe that's why you think everyone likes this person. But I'm just gonna tell you guys, I feel like I am this person. I'm that person that people come to. I'm that anchor. And I wouldn't call myself a people person. I'm very anti-peoply, but it's because of certain traits that I've practiced and worked on, sometimes without a choice. Um, but you can learn to do this, okay? You can learn to be the anti-people person, okay? Um, but really it's the reason that people are drawn to a specific person is emotional intelligence. There is a vibration, there is it's magnetic. It's a live energy that is physically drawing people to you when you are in your full power, when you are in your full potential, which is why I think this is so important, especially if you're in sales or just any capacity of life. I don't give a shit if you're a stay-at-home mom. Emotional intelligence is important, probably especially as a stay-at-home mom. Okay. I learned with my oldest two, not really being there for their emotions appropriately. I've learned from that, and having, the maturity I've gained with being in tune to my emotions, I'm a lot different with the other kids. Um, but this is, you know, emotional intelligence. It's just a set of skills and traits. And this is how we can step into that power of leadership. Um, this is your ability to use, to comprehend, to manage emotions, and not just your emotions. It's yours and the emotions of other people. People who have a high level of emotional intelligence are really good at some things like emotional awareness. um, you can easily recognize, it's easy to recognize and label your emotions and other people's emotions. Then you can see other people's perspectives, and it makes conversations a lot easier. You use the feelings to help yourself solve the problems, and you can think clearly. um and it's, again, I know control is the word that likes to come up because that was a habit. It was a habit for me to say control your emotions. And a lot of my mindset in controlling my emotions meant repressing them. And so I'm very wary when I use that word because I don't want them repressed, and we don't control them, but we also don't allow them to control us. We just kind of let them be, and we coexist. And the ones that, whenever an emotion is surfacing, we need to be able to label it quickly to figure out where it's coming from, and then to compartmentalize where it goes, how it flows, how to use it, bless it, release it, all of that. Okay. Not being afraid to feel those emotions is part of emotional intelligence. Um, but if we're going to look at the components that really make up what emotional intelligence is, it is, it's all going to be self, not all of it. Self management. This is going to be your ability to regulate your emotions healthy. It includes being able to take the initiative, to follow through, change your behavior to specific situations. You've got your self awareness. When you're aware of your feelings and how, they're influencing your thoughts and your actions, you know your strengths and flaws. And this gives you a different level of self-confidence. You've got self-awareness, social awareness. Are you calling me, son? Social awareness. This involves being, empathetic. When you have social awareness, you can perceive others' feelings, sometimes requirements, and definitely concerns. But this is how you're going to feel comfortable in a social situation. This is where I learned not to feel, overly anxious being in a room full of strangers. You start to recognize the balance of power in groups that you associate with. Management of relationships. This is the ability to understand how to build and maintain positive relationships. It helps you communicate well, inspire and influence others. Managing relationships helps you to, even be able to collaborate with other people, to resolve disputes with success. And when someone has these characteristics, this is what we're labeling as emotional intelligence. Knowing what makes up emotional intelligence is great, but why does it matter to you? Why does it matter to you? Because your work performance, okay? Having that high emotional intelligence, it's going to help you get through anything you're facing at work, at home. You want to succeed at leading, encouraging other people and helping other people to bring in success, wherever you're at, even if you're the homeschool mom, right? Um, you want to be able to set the bar, set the energy, your physical well-being. If you can't manage your emotions, you can't control stress, and this is going to make you sick, physically sick, right? Uncontrolled stress, this fucks with your blood pressure, raises the risks of, we're talking about strokes and heart attacks, and it's going to age you really super fast. So emotional intelligence is, I think, a priority just to maintain your physical health. um and relationships in our lives, you guys, are essential. Okay. This is probably the biggest takeaway for this quick podcast today. Relationships are essential. Okay. You're going to communicate better. And this is the key to a good relationship. You can communicate better if you can work on developing your emotional intelligence. When you know how others are feeling, you can respond appropriately. This is how we form those stronger, closer bonds. This is how we get to that place. People ask me all the time, how are you not triggered? Like, how are you not, snapping back and reactive? Part of this is having, that emotional intelligence muscle to flex. Okay. I wouldn't say it's perfect by any means, but it's definitely getting strong. Like, you can see I'm putting the work in. Okay. This is where you want to be. You want to be aware of that emotional intelligence. You've got people that are just stuck in these relationships, especially you guys stuck with these narcissistic people. Um, you've just become a victim in your own prison. And so if you can start to become emotionally intelligent, you can start to free yourself from whatever thoughts and feelings that they have portrayed on you to kind of guilt you to put up those walls. Okay. Um, it's freedom. Emotional intelligence is freedom. There's no other way for me to really express that. It's freedom because you're not bound to anything. Nothing is going to come over you and you're not going to become your emotions. You are strong. You're on your own energy plane, all the time. It's easy to go into a room and feel when someone, doesn't have good energy. Um and even family too. Like I know everybody has that family member where when you have to be in the room, you're just like, the energy is so heavy and just draining and it's exhausting. If you can get to that emotional intelligence, you're not allowing it to take from your cup. You're just able to see, wow, this is really just an insecure, unhappy person. And that's all it is. And you leave it at that. And whatever comes out of their mouth is just falls on. They're just miserable and unhappy. Having that emotional intelligence is it's a gift. It's a gift that is going to keep on giving. beyond making you that people person, okay, this is going to open up doors and allow you to connect with other people. This is where you're going to find that peace and that joy and that satisfaction. And you'll continue to have it because everywhere you go, you're going to thrive and people are going to magnetize to you on a whole different level. They're just going to feel good being in your energy because you are a calming space, because you are peace, because you are solid, because you are confident, because you're aware, and you're going to learn to read between the lines. And I think that's the biggest key, especially you guys, if you're in sales. I know there's a lot, there's like the psychology 101 of sales and marketing and how to manipulate the brain. And you don't have to do any of that. You just have to be emotionally intelligent because people buy from an emotional standpoint. They want to feel better, they're looking for some kind of feeling. That's why people buy shit. So if you're a salesperson, you want to tap into people's emotional, reactions. And this is where you can tap into like why, why are they saying no? Why can't you make a sale? Why is no one saying yes to you? And you start to see how they're responding and reacting to the things that you're saying. And it's just this whole beautiful gift of trying to piece together a puzzle that isn't that hard. Okay. I'm talking preschool level puzzle when it comes to sales. And you've got that power. And once you tap into that emotional intelligence, it changes everything. It's going to improve, your marriage, your relationship with your kids. It's a gift. I think is important. I think that it's something you should practice this weekend. I think you should work on, just starting to become aware. Go through the things I've talked about in previous episodes where, you're testing yourself, you're able to label the emotions. Don't be afraid to write shit down. Really holding yourself accountable. I wouldn't necessarily bring other people into this until you, get stronger and you get self-confident, and you're able to just have that self-regulation. Um, and then the rest just kind of comes to you. So I love you guys. Have a great weekend, and I will see you next week for Microdose Monday.